Now I'm muted. This is Jay Cleveland Payne, and this is Things You Might Have Heard. I am here with you. We're getting things started a little late, a few minutes late, but 5:53 this morning Central Time as we're knocking off our morning news update, giving you the latest in information, politics, current events, and pop culture. This is your go-to supplemental source for both mainstream and unconventional news stories you may have missed. A little added extra context to all. 8 stories on the way, including, yes, the story I teased, and yes, I'm so happy it's here. Kim Jong-un says you got to go out there and make some babies. North Korean babies specifically, plus 7 other stories that you vetted as conversational throughout the day. We'll go to how the vetting process goes at the end of the headlines and at the end of the show. Today things, fun things that you will enjoy. So stick around for the whole shebang. We'll have all that to come to. If now, remind you that you can go to our website anytime you want to, 24 hours a day, and check out the Conversation Projects, all its projects at this is theconversationproject.com. And of course, email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Headlines on the way, 8 of them that were vetted by you, curated by me, and this for today, which happens to be Tuesday, December the 5th, 2023, and that means 20 days till Christmas Day. So don't forget, don't get too lost. 20 days till Christmas. No excuses. You got this. Let's get into the headlines for this morning, starting off with this first headline we have listed here, and that is that Spotify is going to cut 1,500 jobs in its third round of layoffs in this year. Now, how can a tech company keep cutting jobs? Well, one of the issues is the jobs aren't necessarily 1,500 people who are sitting at a desk all day. They're not necessarily all full-time jobs. And Spotify is a worldwide company, so they can find a smaller number of people in various spaces. They're going to take on some charges to deal with some layoffs and things like that in euros, because it's basically cutting people from the European economy so much as here. But they invested more than $1 billion in building up its podcast business, signed up some celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Prince Harry, and of course that Joe Rogan guy and the Joe Putin guy. And a lot of those podcasts, a lot of those things aren't being profitable. Now, the exclusivity, word I always mess up, where Joe Rogan seems to be working because everybody's onto that, although most people are honestly watching his YouTube. In the meantime, Harry and Meghan are famously being bounced from the thing and other things going forward. We'll find out how this thing plays out. Like I said, most of these jobs, most of these losses in the European market, but there's plenty, when we're a global company, there's plenty of places to find cuts. At some point, you got to actually find ways to make some more money. Announced yesterday, Taylor Swift, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin among Time's Person of the Year finalists. Some other people on that list include Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, of all people, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and the hit film Barbie. Barbie is the Person of the Year, and not in a Barbie, but the actual whole film by itself. Barbie. Of course, Taylor Swift made a bunch of money this past season by doing this big concert tour, having a big concert movie, and dating some football guy, some dude that plays for Kansas City, Kansas or something. I don't know. President Biden called Xi a dictator, but then had a conference with them a few weeks ago because they're trying to mend the fences. Because that's what we do. We call people dictators, and then we try to make amends because they actually owe all our debt. King Charles is on the list as well. 75th birthday, finally got a chance to be king because his mother finally died. And he's there. He's also getting a lot of coverage that's being overshadowed by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saying their things, which we'll get back to, believe it or not, in this show. And you also, of course, Vladimir Putin, you may know of that guy. He leads Russia. He might be the actual dictator. He is Putin. Top list for people who will be Time's Person of the Year. We'll find out in a few weeks who actually gets that cover going forward. Escaped kangaroo captured after punching Canadian officer. I wish I had a chance to actually tease this one, even though I knew it probably wouldn't make it. But this one, put it in there. You guys actually gave this one a lot of love, believe it or not. A female kangaroo hopped over her handlers at the Oshawa Zoo and Fun Farm in Ontario on Thursday, and then ran along the roads on Friday. Officers spotted the kangaroo around 3 a.m. on Monday, grabbed it by the tail, but the kangaroo punched one of the officers in the face. As they do in the cartoons, apparently they do it in real life during capture. The kangaroo received medical treatment and will stay at the Oshawa Zoo for a few days of rest. It's almost like watching a Merry Melodies cartoon and Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig and the kangaroo that comes out of the box chasing around and it punches people. It's almost just like that, except the kangaroo was safe at the end, and so was the officer. Wasn't wearing boxing gloves. I guess that's the difference. Gold bars featured in Senator Bob Menendez's bribery charges are linked to a 2013 robbery, records say. As if this thing can't get any worse, the businessman reported to police that he was a victim of a robbery in 2013. Asked police to recover the gold bars that were stolen from him. They caught the 4 people who stole the goods, but not so much the actual bars. But what we have are exact matches to these gold bars that were in this robbery in 2013. Not necessarily a good look for Bob Menendez, who isn't seeing very good looks at all. In fact, no good looks at all for Bob Menendez, although with the loss of the other guy, George Santos, now we have more Menendez to kick around going forward. You can read the story for more deeper details on how they found out what was going on, what's actually going in Bob Menendez's wife, and why gold bars at your local Costco, the price of gold bars has gone up there as well. Stocks go down, gold bars go up. Oh, George Santos. He's here too. George Santos is offering personalized videos for $200. How's he doing that? George Santos apparently opened up a Cameo account and having the public pay him for videos, personalized videos to folks. Prices start at $75 and go up as high as $200. Now that seems a little low, you would think, for a guy with the stature, with the gravitas of George Santos. But apparently the guy needs a couple bucks right now. He still has some legal things coming. He's been indicted and not exact charged yet. Those trials haven't started yet. And of course, he doesn't have a job. He didn't really have a job in the first place, but he lied to get the job that he had. Now he really doesn't have a job. I guess if you get expelled from Congress, you can't really keep those campaign funds to live off of because you don't have a working job, which is, the mystery of why all these people who don't have a chance to win the presidency run for president, because they can get a bunch of money and live off it for a while. I'm not living off my stocks very well because I should have sold this weeks ago. Virgin Galactic stock tanks after Richard Branson signals no more investments. Here's one of the weird things about all the billionaires spending much of money to go into space. The one guy that people actually like is the one guy that can't get his rocket ship into space and make any money off it, or at least get into space for anybody to care enough to pay to keep putting it into space. Jeff Bezos and his rocket looks like a big giant penis. Sure, whatever. Elon Musk, he's sending rockets all over the place and the government's paying him to do that, and he's being a jerk about it. Richard Branson, the big smiling guy who, saved records till they didn't save records and saved airlines till he didn't save airlines, can't save space because no one's buying his space plane. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I am actually an owner of Virgin Galactic stock. I bought it fairly recently, within the last couple of years, with all the rocket ships going back and forth, thinking that I'm going to buy the stock for the guy that I actually like. I actually have Amazon stock specifically, which I guess Blue Origin may be separate on that end. Don't know Tesla because I just don't see that one. But the guy that I'm backing, obviously not getting any backing, no more investments, obviously no more investments from me. I don't think he needs that $100 that I'm dumping in via Robinhood, but I don't think it's going to help very much. But stock dropped another 15 points yesterday based on Sir Richard Branson saying that he wouldn't put any more money into it because he's trying to make things work. They're trying to get the plane to work right now, trying to get that thing operational, and all the money going to it from outside investors and his own pocket not happening. North Korea's Kim Jong-un calls for action on falling birth rates. The leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, called for efforts to tackle the country's falling birth rates during an event for mothers in Pyongyang in Sunday. And how do you tackle efforts to do falling birth rates? Oh, The United Nations Population Fund estimates that the fertility rate in North Korea is 1.8, higher than some of the country's other neighbors, but not quite high enough. South Korea has a shortage of pediatricians and has experienced food shortages in the past, including a deadly famine in the 1990s. I probably should say North Korea. I think my robot editor screwed that one up. But we know there's not enough food in North Korea. We know that they have a lot of people, pediatricians, probably all doctors and all healthcare there as well. Most of the comments I received, and here's what got really weird yesterday. I posted a short video about this on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. It blew up. I got a lot of great response, a lot more than higher response than normal. And most people were kind of like, yeah, that's great, but they can't feed anybody, so why have more kids? YouTube apparently shadow banned it because they don't like North Korea, or they don't like Kim Jong-un, or because I said freaky stuff in the video. So if you want to help a brother out, go look for the short on Kim Jong-un I did yesterday and popped that one a little bit. I said on purpose because I could use the views. And finally, because we actually almost went to air with 7 stories and had to go find one in the last minute, we grabbed this one. Not exactly stellar, but we put it in there. It was interesting. It was the number 2 story for yesterday, so you people engaged in it. Just wasn't much of a story. Florence Pugh hit in the face with thrown item while on stage at Dune Part 2 panel. She was on stage on a panel talking about Dune Part 2 coming out soon, and Pugh was smiling for photos when an object struck her in the face. She grabbed her face and mouthed the words ow or wow or something like that when she did that. And that's her story. That, my friends, is how we end our headlines for this day. Some days they're stellar. Some days we barely get out of the box. And today was one of the ladders. But we got up. We made it happen. It worked. In our apologies, errors, and omissions, a story we probably should have moved up instead of Florence Pugh, a number 9 story for the overnights, but it's been around for a while, so it actually was something big the day before. We didn't talk about it. We're talking about it again. Or actually, we teased it yesterday because we couldn't get a chance to tease it because of Kim Jong-un. This one story came out to be the 9th ranked story for the day, so it was close. Beyonce's Renaissance is number 1 at the box office with $21 million debut. The debut of Renaissance, the movie, not quite as big as Taylor Swift's. It actually didn't get as much promotion as Taylor Swift, so you have that. But this is a big deal as Beyonce was basically the driving force behind her tour. And her tour is actually much older than Eras. Eras basically just wrapped up, and so they were filming live and kind of ran into this sort of the luster of popping and right is going on. Beyonce's tour opening up a little bit before on Taylor's as well, although she did do some great stuff. She had the thing, people in DC, she paid for their trips home in the on the metro on that stuff. Beyonce's movie not quite as high as the Eras tour movie for Taylor Swift, but you know what? Did you do a movie about your tour this last year? Did you wear all platinum for the whole thing? Do you have Victor Vacwell pulling out these big ass ugly shoes every time he talks about Beyonce? No, you didn't. No, you don't. Back away from the B. It is what it is, and deal with it. Now, what it is, or actually could be what it could be, is our teaser story for tomorrow. This is a headline that we could talk about come tomorrow if you deem this story a good one to talk about. And this is where I talk about the feeds and the vetting process. All you have to do is follow us on our feeds. Our feeds are our links on Facebook and Twitter because everyone has them. We post news stories every 50 minutes, all day, all night. And what you do, just see what we're doing sometimes. See what's in our feeds and like, love, hate, share, engage in the stories that we're putting out there. And the higher the score engagement gets, the better chance you have of talking about it. We pick the top 15 stories per a day here. We get about 30 hours worth of posting from midnight to about 4 in the morning. And we get about 33, 35 stories in that range. We pick the top 15 because they're good. We pick 8 out of those and one kind of half one for the omission and go with that. Will we talk about this one tomorrow? King Charles is back. This time I said he'd be back, and this is kind of the issue that's going on. King Charles flies home for emergency talks with Prince William, one son, over Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan are out there being Harry and Meghan again and just sort of airing even more dirty laundry. The new Netflix documentary, which King Charles called Harry an idiot for and then realized people actually liked Harry and Meghan over him, is causing some stir. So he went back after the COPA Convention for Climate and is supposedly talking with his other son about what to do in this case. We shall see how this plays out. We shall see if we're talking about this one. This news overshadowing King Charles, who 1 turned 75 and 2 had a big spiel at this convention because climate change is his thing. He's not getting the pub he wants, not the right pub, if you will. So we'll see how this plays out. And if you want to talk about the story even more, because Harry and Meghan pulled the numbers, William and Charles not necessarily, you just engage in the story. Go to facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project. That's us on Facebook. Twitter or X, we are th_conversation. Engage in the story. Top 15 stories of the day, get a chance to look at, and we will pull 8 of those stories to give to you in some sort of narrative form tomorrow. Tomorrow. We'll do this one for tomorrow. Maybe. Let's talk about our sponsor we're spotlighting for this morning, and that is Hostage Tape. Now, thank you so much for everybody who actually went to Hostage Tape for the Black Friday sales. Here's one of the things that they actually told us in the response from our affiliates. They've run out of tape. They've run out of tape. They run out of tape. They had a sale for Black Friday that offered a massive amount of hostage tape for you guys, so you would probably never run out of hostage tape. and they ran out of tape, or supplies are low, what they specifically said. So if you want to get in on these great deals they have, you need to go figure it out right now. Hostage tape is the most comfortable mouth tape on the planet. If you use it for exercising, you cover your mouth and it keeps your mouth closed. You'll breathe through your nose because you have to. If you use it at night when you're sleeping and you snore and you don't breathe properly, you put it on your mouth. You don't put a Band-Aid on your nose to open your nose up. That doesn't make any sense. You just close off your mouth. You breathe through your nose and you have better sleep. It can save a marriage. It could save your life if you have sleep issues. It can help you with your exercise. You should try it out. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/hostage tape. This is aconversationproject.com/hostage tape. Yes, it has a funny name, but it got your attention, didn't it? Now, why don't you check it out and see if it's going to get your dollars. If you get the dollars to it through our link, we get a few dollars as well. So we're all in this conspiracy together. Check it out. This is something that help your health and sleep very, very easily. You don't worry about a sleep divorce. Just get some hostage tape and you can still stay there and snuggle, just with less of the snoring. Check it out online at our website, at our link, so we get a bit of a help at thisisaconversationproject.com/hostage tape. Go to our sponsors page and see some other sponsors as well. If the snoring isn't your issue, something we have will hopefully help you out. Let's get into us. A little bit of conversation about us, the Conversation Project. We live online at thisisaconversationproject.com. Find out more details about what we do every single day by going to our website and seeing where you can find what you can do. You can see all you can see. A sailor can go to the website wipes up to see what he could see. It sounded better in my head than it did coming out. We have links to our feeds, which I told you already on Facebook and Twitter. We have links to our other locations where you can find us in video, audio, and just watch the links. You don't have to hear or see me, just read the stuff. You can see links to where we do our short videos and stuff, and some of the journey that was the Conversation Project. It's become a bit of a blur over the past decade or so. We've been doing this in various forms, but the whole show is about the whole shebang, essentially about great conversations on current events, news stories, what's going on, finding out what you guys want to talk about, in spite what Wolf Blitzer tells you what he's talking about. He's just like, yo, I'm Wolf Blitzer. This is what we're talking about in the Situation Room. Here's the situation. Sit down and listen. You guys run the Situation Room for the Conversation Project, and you do that with the feed. So stop by the feeds, email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com, and let me know what we can do to work on the show, and consider going to our partnerships page and helping us with a little deeper works as well. Now, we are wrapped up with the news. We told you how it works. We tried to sell you some hostage tape. We'll see if you're buyers. Let's go to the fun stuff for today. And we always start our fun stuff every single weekday morning with birthdays because they're awesome. Today, we're celebrating Margaret Cho, who's 55 years old today. The comedian, the actress, the writer. She's actually pretty prolific doing a lot of things. I saw her recently because I watch online it's basically was the 5 over the 5. It's a syndicated 5 essentially, but it's more entertainment tonight than it is, bitching about politics. And she did a thing talking about her career and things like that going forward. And she was in a movie recently going forward, and just some little things here or there. She's doing a lot of producing. She's still doing a lot of stand-up, which was amazing. And Margaret Cho is hitting 55 with stride today. It's on December 5th, this birthday today. Going back to 2008, this is a big one, actually. O.J. Simpson sentenced to 33 years in prison for kidnapping and armed robbery. Kidnapping or robbery. This is the whole part of the whole stealing his stuff thing that got him put in jail, not the whole maybe he killed his wife and her best friend thing that didn't put him in jail. We're just gonna leave that as it is and just kind of move on from that one right there. Let's celebrate Comfort Food Day today. Today is a day to put some love to your favorite comfort foods. And how this became a day, not exactly sure. The notes didn't have a full day, like, okay, one day, well, I mean, because they make a day for everything. My daughter's finding out there's some sort of proclamation for every single day, whether it's real or imagined. And Comfort Food Day is one that just is coming up right now. And it's a good time for the come up as we come in after Thanksgiving, rolling into Christmas, 20 days till Christmas, remember, where you're starting to think about things that make you feel good. Mac and cheese for soul food folks. Maybe it's a big old pot of greens, some beans and rice. Something that makes you feel better. Something that's usually laden in calories. Kale does not apply. No, it doesn't. Watercress, no, that's not there. Caviar, well, if you're rich, maybe, but it's something that, every time you have it, it's something that makes you feel better. It's not a snack. It's actual food. It's chicken soup. It's a big bowl of chili. It's something that makes you feel good, and it puts a little bit of heft into your tummy. And at the same time, makes you, feel good and puts heft into your tummy. Usually what it is. Mac and cheese is one of my favorites, by the way, just out there. So if you want to, get to my heart via my stomach, a good mac and cheese is a great way to get there. And I make a great mac and cheese. Let's get out of here for this day, this Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and this has been this edition of Things You Might Have Heard. Stop by the website and let us know how we're doing. Stop by your email machine and email us how we're doing. Stop by the feeds and let us know what to talk about, and just stop by. We cannot do this show, gonna have this project, gonna have everything we produce without your help. I want to thank everybody who popped in the last couple of days. We had a stellar response, actually no response to the Kim Jong-un short, which surprising on YouTube. The TikTok was great. Love that stuff. But all the folks who popped in for the Story of the Week podcast on the video form at YouTube, not checked the stats on the audio yet, because I hadn't I do that on Wednesday. But I'm always checking the videos because they're just kind of live stats. And people are jumping on the obsession I have with Bible Petrino. Some people are calling me out on it, which you have a right to. I will call you out on the fact that Bible Petrino seems like a scumbag. I don't know him personally, but seems like a scumbag. And yes, we are going for the scumbag because we want wins. That's what we do. This is America. Thank you very much. In the meantime, if you want to email me to complain about Bible Petrino, or any other thing going on, please feel free to. Make sure you're staying limber, hydrated, and on task for all the grand things you're here to do. 20 days till Christmas. 20 days till Christmas. One more time with feeling. 20 days till Christmas. Oh, and look out coming up after Christmas and right at the beginning of the year, as we have more great things for folks who become partners and just friends of the show. We have great stuff coming, including some coffee, just like I'm drinking out of my mug right now. Special blended coffee. I blended it myself, so you'll love that. In the meantime, have a great Tuesday. We got a lot of week to get through, 2 days in, something like that. So be safe, be sound, love you, mean it. Let's do this again tomorrow morning.